All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1997 Volvo 850. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 5 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Guys, I'm super excited to be driving this here 850 for a couple of different reasons. First of all, this is owned by my good friend RJ and it is completely stock besides a muffler delete. Other than a muffler delete, this is a stock 850 and I absolutely love reviewing stock Volvos. But the second reason is the fact that this car is very important and very special. Not a lot of 850 wagons came with the manual transmission here in the States, so it's a little bit rare. And I'm sure Volvo guys will absolutely love this here 850. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are looking to sell your car, click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will pick up your car with a salvage title, clean title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Click the link in the description below, get your free quote, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. So let's get back to that inline 5-cylinder engine. Well, it's very interesting and odd that it actually has a 5-cylinder engine. It's not too common. However, Volvo started doing this in the 1990s, and this is the first vehicle to have a transversely mounted inline 5. As you'll notice, the cylinders go left to right in the engine bay as opposed to forward and back like a typically mounted engine. I will put the horsepower and torque of this inline 5 up on the screen. It's nothing really too crazy. It's not really something you would bring to drag week or do highway pulls in. However, there was a R version of the 850 that did make a lot more power and is something that you would bring to drag week or do highway pulls in. So if that's something that you want, you can seek out an 850R, but unfortunately this is not it. However, the owner told me that I really had to do a pull in first gear. First gear is what this car really likes, and so that's what you'll see now. All right, first gear. Oh man, it's fun. It's not fast, but it's fun. And I might be out of pocket saying this. Volvo guys, please don't let this go to your head. It sounds a little bit, sort of, like the Lamborghini Huracan I drove last year. I'll play the clips side by side. You tell me, but it kind of sounds like it. Obviously not the same, but this is a 5-cylinder. The Huracan was a 10-cylinder. Oh man, this is a Lamborghini station wagon. No, don't say that. Don't tell that to any Volvo guys. It'll go straight to their head. But man, I mean, you be the judge. Like I said, paired to it is that 5-speed manual transmission, and it's really the Goldilocks of transmissions. It's not too stiff, but it's not too loose to shift. The clutch isn't too heavy, but it's not too light. I'm not kicking the firewall, but I'm also not getting a leg workout. And the throw is pretty short. I don't feel like I'm rowing a boat. I feel like I'm driving a well-built car, which is exactly what I'm driving. That's why I say it's the Goldilocks of transmissions. Last but not least, this car is front-wheel drive, which is a big deal because the Volvo 240s that came before it were rear-wheel drive, and they formed this cult following because of it. Well, this is when Volvo decided to actually switch to a front-wheel drive platform here with the 850. So this car was sort of a landmark car for Volvo's history. Inline 5, transversely mounted, first car of its kind, and also front-wheel drive, driving a little piece of history. I kind of like that. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of gauges. On the left is my fuel and coolant temperature, in the middle is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer. As well as down at the bottom, I do get a little bit of information. I get the time as well as the outside temperature, and to the right of that, I have a little snowflake light letting me know that right now it is below freezing outside, so take a little bit extra precaution. That is a really nice warning from the Swedes, and I appreciate that. Down below the gauges is the central locking button as well as the headlight switches. And then to the left of the gauges, I have my gauge dimmer switch, that's that little loading circle up at the top, and my fog light switches. Then I get 2 climate control vents next to all of that. On the door, I don't really have anything besides a speaker and an aftermarket cup holder. However, the actual door handles to get out of the 850 are sort of interesting. These are pretty much the same design as what you would find in an FD Mazda RX-7. So a little fun fact there. Sounds like a Lamborghini, opens like a Mazda RX-7. This car is starting to crow on me a little bit. Moving into the center, we have 2 climate control vents up at the very top. Volvo was very sure that you would get whatever climate you wanted. Then I have the actual climate controls themselves directly below that. Of course, I do have heated mirrors and a rear defroster on the left as well. And I do actually get dual zone climate, which for 1997 is absolutely amazing and was actually missing from the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe. This car had it 23 years ago, almost 24 years ago, which is wild to think about. Down below the climate controls, I do have my stock radio. This is the original Volvo radio. It looks good, nothing really too crazy. It does say Volvo on it. However, this is one of those radios that requires a code. So if your battery goes dead, make sure you know where your code is, or else you're gonna have a bad time, or you're just gonna have to run to Walmart and spend $100 on a new head unit. Then we have a little center console with a coin holder and cigarette lighter. Now, the coin holder actually holds not only coins, but a secret. That's right, the coin holder has a little secret. If you pull up on it, this is actually where you'll find the OBD2 port. Now, in 1997, here in the US, it was mandated that all vehicles be fitted with OBD2 ports. And what OBD stands for is onboard diagnostics. This is a way for a dealership or a mechanic to tell what's wrong with the engine. You plug a device into this and you read it. Well, Volvo didn't know where to put it. They didn't want to put it under the steering wheel where every other car has it, so they put it under the coin holder. And that's signified by a little OBD2 logo up at the top of the coin holder. I think it's hilarious and just a little Volvo 850 quirk. Then we have the shifter itself. This is the stock shift knob, which I love. I love the feeling of the shifter. I love the look of the shifter. Very, very 90s, very utilitarian. This is where the shifter is because that's where it needs to be. It doesn't look pretty, it doesn't look crazy, but it works. It's as pretty as a hammer, but as useful as one too. Then down below the shifter, this is where I'll actually find my mirror adjusters, window switches, and my on-off, which is essentially child locks. Now, the Volvo 850 does not have cup holders, so the big friggin' bottle test is an immediate fail. However, like I mentioned earlier on the door card, this car actually has aftermarket cup holders, which fit the big friggin' bottle. So the normal 850s fail. However, this one gets a aftermarket pass, which overall means the car failed, but look at it. This actually works. But before we get to the seats, oh yeah. Now we gotta talk about the seats. The seats look like they're out of a 90s Camry or a Toyota product, really. This is just a very 90s sort of fabric. And it works, it's comfortable, and overall I really can't say too much. I wish this would have had heated seats, however, this is a base model. And the reason I say heated seats is because I actually drove an early 90s 240, and that did have heated seats. Now, did I trust nearly 30-year-old heated seats? Of course not, but would have liked to have at least seen it here in the 850. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 1997 Volvo 850, and the back space room is actually great. Headroom, when I sit normally, is good. Knee room is great, not a problem at all, which I absolutely love. I think it's great. And if you're going to seat people back here, this is actually like a comfortable people carrier as opposed to like a small sedan or something. No, this is great, absolutely great. You can actually get a third row that faces backwards. It's very rare, and this 850 does not have that. However, some 850s will. But before we move on to that cargo space, the 850 actually has a small party piece. So, center console here, you would think, oh, just cup holders, right? Well, fold down this center piece here, pop this up, and actually, the bottom expands out. This is a built-in child seat. The Swedes thought of everything. This is actually a child seat. It's a booster seat, which it's a lot safer for a child to be in, and it actually folds out of the center console. I've never seen a car like this. And as you can see, hopefully it's coming across on camera, when I fold it in, the bottom actually like accordions out, which is really, really cool. And this is a factory part for the Volvo. This is original from the factory. It came with this, and it says integrated booster cushion, US only. So I guess it was only an option here. And it shows you how to strap in a kid. Volvo Car Corporation, Sweden, part number 9156640 US. Really, really, really cool. And I've never seen this in a car. And then when you don't have a child in the vehicle, it folds up just like so, and boom, you would never even know it was there. Now we'll hop out real quick. We'll take a look at the rear hatch and how much room is back there. So we're on the back of the Volvo 850, a little bit windy, but as you can see, tons and tons of room. These seats do go down as well, which is absolutely amazing. But under this mat, we get 2 compartments. So pop these up, and that's just a little compartment. But then you could pop this one up as well. And this is where the second row of seats would go. But this is actually the same compartment. So if that's open and this is open, you see they're actually the same compartment. But you do get some nice storage down here, which is very, very nice here in the Volvo. Absolutely love that. Tons of space back here. And this is really why you get an estate car like this, is that you want this extra room. And I absolutely love it. I think it's great. And this, I mean, if you can't fit something in this, you shouldn't be owning a car. You should own a U-Haul truck. If you can't fit it in here, then, you know, God bless you. Now we got to talk about the looks. I don't really mind the look of the 850. I don't think it's a stunner, and I don't think it's ugly. I love the look of wagons. I love that long roof line. I like the blockiness, but this is sort of Volvo moving away from the Swedish brick that we knew and loved. This is sort of a little bit more aerodynamic. And so I can't really say I love the look of it. I can't say I hate the look of it. It just has a look, and that's it. Speaking of exteriors, if you are legally required to run a front plate on your vehicle in the state or country that you live in, but you think it's too ugly, then click the link in the description below and get yourself a con plate. The con plate holder is a suction cup holder for your license plate that goes on the inside of your windshield. This means you can remain legal when driving around, but for pictures, for shows, it's easily removable from the windshield, so the front of your car looks its best. Click the link in the description below, get your own con plate, and keep your car looking good. Now we gotta talk about the 850 as a whole. If it were rear wheel drive, I'd say it's a 10 out of 10. But honestly, because it isn't rear wheel drive, I still give it a 9 out of 10. This thing is really fun to drive. It's engaging. With a muffler delete, it sounds amazing. And everything in here is pretty solid. There's a little rattle from the center console, but this car was made in 1997. It's the same year I was born, and I have a lot more rattles than this car. It's very pleasant to drive. It's a very pleasant place to be. Like I said, it has the Goldilocks sort of transmission. It feels great even after 184,000 miles. It's not slow, the 5-cylinder's different, and it has tons of room in the back. I mean, really, what more do you want out of a car? I can't get over the sound of this thing. It's baffling me. I love it. I really, really love the 850. And so, if I could put on my prediction hat for a second, I think these will go up in price. The owner picked this car up for not a lot of money, pretty cheap. And look at it, virtually no rust because a lot of the body is aluminum. Reliable, it's almost at 200,000 miles and still driving like I bought it last year. And you can find them in manual, albeit these are hard to find in manual. It's not easy, but they exist. And there's a performance version. I can't even imagine what the performance version is like. Hopefully I'll get behind the wheel of one of those one day. But for now, I'm really happy with this car. Oh, when I got in this car, I did not expect to like it as much as I do. I knew I'd like it. I always love Volvos, but this is different. This is good. This is really, really good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to RJ for letting me take this car out. I know he has a couple plans in mind for some modifications, so I'm very glad that he let me take it out in its almost stock form, because this really is not only a treat, but this is just such a time capsule. And this is probably as nice as an 850 is I'll probably find. So huge thank you to RJ. His Instagram is down in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.